This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstein Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 5, Episode 29, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington across all social media. And I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington life and sports as part of the mighty Hogstein Network on audio and, of course, YouTube here on video. So it's bye week here in Washington, which is a good thing anymore. Team won't lose. Washington football team was 2-6. They basically went Monday for medicals and Wednesday for a light practice. And then on Thursday, he said, go take vacation, which is kind of what you standard do. Mm-hmm. What happens when they come back? Well, they face Tampa Bay. Which did just lose a game, but still, you know, this is where you get the reunion of the last glory moments of Washington when they actually came close to winning a game.
And Tampa did lose this week to New Orleans, and they lost to Trevor. They didn't lose to Jameis. They lost to Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, I mean, Dallas had a backup, and they beat Minnesota. That's the NFL for you. On any given Sunday, except when it involves Washington, you know, dogs can win. So, you know, it's strange. But they take a few days off. I have seen the team come back from the byes. I think it was 98. They were 0-7, looked horrible, and came back and went 6-3. And then the next year won the division. So I look back, there was like 3 years that something radical happened in the second half of the season after a bye. Okay, 3 out of 30 or whatever it's been. You know, I'm not expecting much. I'm not expecting anything really. They've got some winnable games, but then again, they just lost to Denver. That was a winnable game. Could have beaten Bay. That was a winnable game. They don't seem to be able to win even the winnable games. So I'm not expecting a whole lot when they come back.
Yeah, after the bye, they play the Bucks, Panthers, Seahawks, and Russell Wilson will probably be back. We've heard that he's on track to return probably either this week or next week. And then you got the Raiders, and then your 5 division games, 2 against the Cowboys, 2 against the Eagles, and then the last one against the Giants. Respectively, Rick, honestly, I could see them going 4-13.
Yeah, I think of the 4 home games they have left. What's the crowd going to be like? Because everybody is, so Brady comes in with the Bucks. It's probably going to be, there should be 40 to 50,000 there for that game, but they're all going to be Bucks fans. But hey, it might be your last chance to see one of the greatest players ever still play that. So I think that'll have 10,000 Washington fans and 40,000 Bucks fans. And then there's a Monday night game against Seattle. Oh my God, there's going to be no one there. I mean, I don't even think Seattle's going to. Certainly, they won't travel, but it always seems like we have local fans for teams that are far away, just like Washington does too out west.
Well, it's the government. It's the government. Everybody that works and lives in DC is from somewhere else, pretty much.
Yeah, so a Washington team will win. It's just East Coast or West Coast, but there's 25,000 at that game. I doubt it. Seems like it's hard to get below 20, just because lost souls show up. But that's going to be nothing. And then Philly and Dallas will be road team. So no one's there. I mean, there's no one there. It's going to be an embarrassing finish again. I mean, not that the Eagles fans have much to yell about, but they'll be here because that's what Eagles fans do.
Right.
It's only a couple hours away. They'll come just because you can come see a game for cheap. You can probably get tickets for $10.
Yeah.
This is another ugly finish of the season. I didn't see this one coming. I have to admit, I thought they were going to win 8-9 games. I think that's the worst sin they did is they broke the fans' hearts expecting more. It wasn't like we thought, wow, it's another year. No, they broke everybody's hearts this year.
Well, and now as somebody on this show said they were going to go 11-6. I don't know who that was, but I guess that was me. That was a what?
That was a drinking show.
Yeah, I must have been drunk. But no, see, and that's you hit the nail on the head. The problem is, like I said, look, last year they were 7-9. They won the division by de facto. We understand that. But you made moves this year to improve your offense. You brought in Curtis Samuel. You brought in Fitzpatrick. You thought that Logan was going to make another step forward. you made some very smart draft picks with Cosme, and, even Dax Milne has turned out to be a pretty decent pick. I mean, he could morph into Adam Humphries 2.0. Humphries, you brought in Humphries as sort of a Fitzpatrick safety blanket. And they thought, you thought, okay, well, you added a first round linebacker that everybody graded, either a high B or a low A, of all the de facto talking heads. But, you thought that, okay, well, we can build on what we did last year with this defense. This defense was a top 5 defense last year. They're just going to improve. They got rid of Ronald Darby, but they brought in someone that was supposedly better in William Jackson. This was a defense that was getting national coverage, whether it be ESPN or, how much ESPN hates talking about this team, or NFL Network or Fox Sports. I mean, hell, you had Mike Greenberg on ESPN talking about how this could be a top 3 defense, and don't sleep on the Washington football team. I think the biggest thing for fans is the expectations were high, and they weren't just high with fans. They were high with, everybody. And this team has completely gone out and laid a goose egg. Every offensive player that they brought in the offseason to help this team has not helped this team. Fitzpatrick played a half. Samuels played a game. Adam Humphries, he catches a ball or two a game, but we didn't expect him to be a game breaker. Honestly, Rick, I think the smartest move they made in the offseason was getting DeAndre Carter, because that kid, he's fast, man. He can return kicks. He's making plays on offense when needed. I mean, that's probably your best offensive move of the offseason. But yeah, it's definitely there's a lot of, and look, we've seen them bringing in the Bruce Smiths and the Deion Sanders. We've seen them bringing in that Albert Haynesworth and all these guys that are going to come in and change the team. And we're going to have this overly improved team and everything. I think that this year, for some reason, the fans really bought in hard, and they're even more pissed off because it's not working out.
But next year will be exciting because they're going to have a new name. The hard part of this is no one's going to care.
No,
you ruined that. Ruined it by waiting so long.
They are. They're shooting themselves in the foot by waiting for so long to announce this name, and now the team has gone out there and sucked. You needed to announce this name when all the hype and all the coverage was on you. But I don't know. But let me ask you this. This is a kind of a curveball. Do you go rookie quarterback next year, or do you bring in a Matt Ryan, a Russell Wilson, a Derek Carr might be available? Do you trade for Deshaun Watson? I mean, what would you do as Ron Rivera?
Well, let's say if it was me, I'd go rookie quarterback. But the thing is, for Rivera, it's year 3, and at least starts getting a little tighter. So I think he looks for the veteran quarterback. Now, can you really lure one of these guys here without paying them, $1 billion? Because it came out even recently how agents don't want to send their people here anymore.
Right.
Because it's a black hole. And if you're a quarterback thinking, okay, I'm going to go play for Rivera, but he might get whacked after a year, then you're caught with a new coach who may or may not like you. That scares veterans too. So I don't know. I need to get one of each, but I'm not sure where they go quarterback. It doesn't seem like, just looking ahead, that there's a lot, but that'll change. Quarterbacks at the combine throw around, everybody's running around in shorts, and then everyone talks themselves into loving them even when they shouldn't. I see it every year. Every year this happens. Oh, it's not a great quarterback class. Oh, God, you got to get these guys every single year. So there's nothing to believe yet on that.
I think the one name that stands out to me as the most intriguing, and we all know he wants out of Seattle. He wanted out of Seattle last year, is Russell Wilson. If you could somehow swing a trade for Russell Wilson, that would definitely reinvigorate this fan base, because, he's not the best quarterback out there, but the guy's a proven winner and he makes plays, and I don't know if he's ever had a wide receiver group like we have here that can off. I mean, obviously he's got Lockett and Metcalf this year, but Lockett's so up and down. I mean, he's your home run threat, but that's about it. But you offer him a run game that he hasn't had in a couple years. You offer him a decent tight end and some decent wide receivers. I mean, it's intriguing. I don't think he does it. He's married to a actress / musician who needs to be in Hollywood and all that stuff. So I don't know if he would pull the trigger to come here, but I think Russell Wilson is the most intriguing name to me.
All right. So it's bye week. I promised we talk about something else besides the Washington football team. So the Washington Wiz started off 5-1, and I haven't gotten to watch much of it yet. But I was sitting there going, "Okay, is this real?" I mean, now we're so used to 0-6, but Wes Unseld Jr. is coaching. First, they have a couple of low-score games. Everybody goes, "Oh, they're coaching deep," and then all of a sudden they're up in the 130s. I'm like, I don't know what to expect. Beal hadn't had the greatest start, but it seems like a decent chemistry and maybe a good coach. I don't expect, it's sort of like how many games can they win? I ran a poll on my YouTube channel. A lot of people expected a winning year out of them now. I mean, 5-1 was interesting for a start. I don't know. I always said this is a basketball town. And if the Wiz can win 50 games, which I haven't won 50 games in forever, but even if they went upper 40s, people will be excited about this. And, they're not even all together yet. They still have some players to bring back in. I don't know. I just give Unseld credit. I know him when he was like a 12-year-old kid with his dad around, but, he's teaching defense. They seem to be listening to him. That's hard in the NBA. Hard to get a coach to get your attention. And, there's not a lot of stars, per se, on this team. I thought getting Westbrook traded was a good move because he was a ball hog that you couldn't develop players. So I'm kind of excited to see what, now I think we all have a little more time on our hands to look at another team.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see Wizards fever is catching town.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you're ready to eat your words because you said they weren't going to win a game, but I know you were being facetious on that one. But yeah, look, I saw a video the other day after the double overtime win against Boston with Unseld. When he walks into that locker room, the first one to stand up is Bradley Beal, and Bradley Beal basically is the one. As long as you have your superstar's ears and your superstar has bought in, you have the ear of the team. I think that Unseld's philosophy and the way that he can communicate and relate to these guys is helping them. Now, like you said, they're not even at full capacity. I know Rui hasn't played yet. I think there's one or two guys that got injured recently that haven't played all that much. Who knows? This is what the Washington football team was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a bunch of guys coming together, and winning. And that's exactly what this is. Like, I was against the Westbrook trade because I figured you needed somebody like Westbrook to bring fans to the stadium. But, you got to haul back for him. Westbrook's not playing well out there with LeBron in LA. So maybe you came out with the better end of the deal, but I'm also not going to get too out of control yet because it is only 6 games into the season. They've got some tough teams coming up. The Knicks are 5-1 and they got some teams like that. They still got to play Milwaukee a couple times. So we'll see when they get up against the upper tier of the NBA, we'll have to see how they perform.
And the Caps have started off pretty hot too. And Ovi's doing great. Do you think Ovi's going to catch Gretzky?
It's going to be close. I tell you, at the beginning of the season, I didn't think he had a chance, but it's going to be close. I mean, he's got like eight goals in 6 games or 7 goals in 6 games or something like that. But the thing with the Caps is everybody else around him is playing well, and that's what they've always needed a number 2 and a number 3. Kuznetsov is scoring goals. I know Oshie's hurt right now, but Oshie's always been a top guy for them. So, but it's all going to come down to goaltending. They have two very young goaltenders that need to shine, and you have to see how they get tested in the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, so we talked about somebody else for once.
There you go.
I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we'll be back soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent on the Hogstye Network.